So, it's funny. I've had a few shows that I really like. And I'm watching this new show on Netflix. Man, it's really good. It's called Narcos. And I find myself, almost feel terrible about this, rooting for Pablo Escobar. He killed people. $50 billion in cocaine trade. How do I root for that guy? But I thought about it, and I rooted for Tony Soprano. That's weird, right? Why was I rooting for Tony Soprano? In Breaking Bad, Walter White, he was selling meth to kids, but I found him so likable. I found Don Draper, alcoholic, deeply flawed, brilliant. He was my favorite character on that show. Why don't I like the nice people? Why don't I like the people who are moral? What is that about me? Jackson Teller on Sons of Anarchy? It's weird, isn't it? I also like Steve Jobs. He treated people terribly. I don't like to treat people terribly. That's weird, isn't it? That's why I love Bill Belichick. All those people, Jobs, Belichick, Draper, Soprano, Walter White, they're the anti-hero. And what do they all have in common? They don't all kill people like Tony Soprano. They're all sort of morally ambiguous, and they're fearless. They do things deep down we wish we could do. Deep down we're disappointed in ourselves we don't do. Deep down, we really rationalize their behavior because we have part of that in us. Wouldn't you rather be Bill Belichick right now at 54 years old than what you did? He's at the top of the NFL. Steve Jobs. The Patriots, and the reason I mention this, they did it again yesterday. Did you hear the story? Oh, they picked up another defensive lineman. He was a starter for New Orleans. Had a great camp. And they gave up a third-string tight end who last week was a healthy scratch. And they dropped 51 without him. They gave up a sixth-round pick this week and a tight end who was a healthy scratch. Could have played, but didn't need him. And in turn, they got John Bostic, who was the Bears' leading tackler a year and a half ago, and Akiem Hicks from the Saints, who was starting until a couple of games ago, who has a ton of potential. He won't have to start for New England. And by the way, he was available for everybody. Your team could use him. So now it's Corey Dillon, Wes Welker, Randy Moss. They got him for a song. Dion Lewis. They just keep doing it over and over. And I find Belichick, everybody hates Belichick. I don't. You rooted for Soprano. You rooted for Don Draper. I find myself in Narcos often rooting for Pablo Escobar. He's an awful human being, right? Was. But there's an anti-hero quality to Belichick that I think if you were completely honest with yourself, you admire. If he wasn't winning all these games and beating your team, you would admire. I mean, think about how they've handled Deflategate. Deny, push back. Nobody in the NFL would do that to the commissioner. Nobody would treat the NFL with less respect than New England has. And now they've won again. Even when you think they lost, they won again on Deflategate. Because now it looks like NFL's just bullying them. Nobody thinks Deflategate changed games. Nobody thinks it has. I mean, it's now even reporting on it like my former employer. They look like they're bullying the New England Patriots. So as I watched the Patriots yesterday do it again, and you can say you hate them, but I'll tell you what, there is a connectivity between Steve Jobs and Bill Belichick and Don Draper and Tony Soprano and Walter White, and all these guys are fearless. And I think it's a great quality, and it's why I love them. And they don't give a rip, and they deny, and they're tough, and there's some moral ambiguity, and I'm okay with that. Because I think we've all got our serpents. We've all got our issues. We've all got our shadows.